Welcome, Left Traffic. This is another episode of Driver Interviews. If you haven't already, like and subscribe to stay up to date with all our content. And this episode, it is my pleasure to introduce Dean Thompson. He's a late model driver out of California who finished second actually last night, and his race team finished 1, 2, 3. Welcome, Dean.
Hey, thanks for having me.
No problem. Thanks for doing this. For the people who don't know you, let's just give them a little background about yourself.
Well, I live out of California. I love hockey, love racing. 17 years old, and yeah.
Cool. I'm a big hockey guy too. I can see you're a Ducks fan.
Yep, Anaheim.
Nice. Okay, cool. I'm a Philly fan.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So when did you develop a love for the sport of racing?
It developed around 4 to 5 years old when me and my dad used to watch NASCAR when we were younger when I was younger on Saturday nights or Sundays. Mm-hmm. And my dad rooted for Dale Jr. And I loved Jimmy Johnson because he would always win, and so how could you not love him?
Exactly.
So I had this big fat head of Dale Jr. and Jimmy Johnson in my old house, and
nice.
It was pretty cool.
Cool. Yeah, no, as kids, we always tend to lean towards the guys who win a lot, no matter the sport, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So how did you get your start in racing?
So that's kind of a weird story. So going back to the last question, when I was 5, because me and my dad watched NASCAR together, one night my dad and all the other dads in the neighborhood got together and wanted to form like a team for either whether it be baseball, soccer, flag football. So my dad called me over. He's like, "You want to do baseball?" I was like, I don't know. No. And he's like, "You want to do soccer?" And I was like, "Nah." He's like, "How about flag football?" And I was like, I don't know. He's like, what do you want to do then? No, I was like, hey, I like NASCAR. He's like, what? What are you trying to say? And so he went online and he found Quarter Midget Racing Association, and so we started racing in Pomona, like a flat track with just these like portable barriers, and that was during the housing boom, and so we got kicked out so they can build houses where the track was, well, quote unquote track.
Right.
So we got kicked out and we moved behind Orange Show Speedway. So there's a quarter midget track right behind Orange Show Speedway, and my dad basically built the entire thing, and because he was a contractor at the time, and no one else could help pitch in, and so he basically built the entire track. And
wow.
So yeah, it's still standing there, and we have the start finish line is the bricks they used for the start finish line in Pomona.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, I was the first car to drive on that track, and that's when I started when I was 5 and finished when I was 9. So
cool. And it's still there? Are people still racing on it and stuff?
Oh yeah, I just went there. I think it was a couple weeks ago, a month ago. They had something called the Western Grands, and it was like this big championship for quarter midgets for like the west side of the U.S. And so yeah.
Cool. That's awesome. That's a great story.
Yeah.
So you're out in California. There's a couple NASCAR tracks out there. Do you go to tracks regularly, and which ones?
So I've always gone to Auto Club my entire life, and okay, that's just the closest to me. But recently we started. My dad and I have started to go to Texas because because he has work there and stuff, and 2 because of we sponsor Xfinity car there, and we sponsor Cole Custer because mine and his family are pretty good friends, because when I raced quarter midgets, he raced with me, so we were buddies at the time. And then so when I was racing, I quit at 9 years old because it was brutal for a 9-year-old. You would leave Friday night, practice Saturday, race Sunday, leave Sunday night, and then have school all week.
Jeez.
So it's tough.
Yeah, for a 9-year-old. Yeah.
Yeah, so it just burnt me out, and so I quit. But he kept going. Now he is where he is now, and so
right.
Yeah, I go to Auto Club, Texas. I went to Charlotte this year.
Nice.
So yeah.
Cool. Yeah, me and my cousin, who's also the co-host, we usually go to Martinsville, Dover. We go to
Okay, cool.
Richmond. Richmond's our home track, so it's the closest. We usually try to hit that twice a year.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, so so you race late models, and you race at Irwindale primarily, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What's your favorite track to race on, and what's your favorite track to watch?
So there's a track up in Bakersfield in Kern County, and I love that track. You send into the corner and you roll through the center and you get back on the gas and you're on the gas for so long. And then, it's basically like, to compare it to a cup track, it would be like Texas, not Texas. It'd be more like a Talladega, but like you lift in the centers because the corners aren't as big. So you're on the gas for a long time. It's like one of the bigger late model tracks. So I love Talladega. So
Yeah.
Coming same question. I love to watch Auto Club or Talladega because Auto Club is just my home track, and Talladega is just you're on the gas the entire time, close racing, hard racing, pitch strategy,
Yeah.
and it's just they're going so fast, and I'm a kind of a muscle car guy, and so I
Okay.
love fast. I love like fast speeds and more horsepower and everything. So yeah.
Cool. So as a late model driver, for the people who are not racers and stuff, can you kind of describe like a race week for you and your team?
Yeah. So well, we on occasion will test the car on Wednesdays, and some races we do, some races we don't. And then Thursday comes around, we may test on Thursday, and then Friday everyone gets there around 5, and we practice that day. The majority, if not the entire field, practices that day and tests, and we're there from 5 to like 9. 9's when the track closes, and then 12, like 11:30, 12 o'clock is when the track opens on Saturday. So I get there around 12, and we have the schedule is usually the same for every single race.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically it's like get there at 12. Our late models first practice is around like 2 o'clock, and the second practice is like 3 o'clock. Drivers meeting at 3:20, qualifying at 4. Then the autograph session, which is really cool. I love doing that, seeing all the fans and signing things for them and taking pictures. That's really cool to see all them. And then the national anthem at 7. And then we have 2 races every night, every race night. So we begin the night with late models, 35 laps. Then the late models have time in between for all the other races, like the legend cars, either Super Stocks or Enduros. And then we have what's called the S2 series. So it's kind of like, so before it was a spec late model. It's called a spec late model, and it looked more like kind of like a Toyota Camry, and it looked like a regular car. And they had those, and they had the trucks. So 2 different races. Well, the speculates were getting low car counts. The trucks were getting low car counts, and one of the drivers from the trucks was like, "Hey, we're running the same lap times. I mean, there's no reason to have these separate races." So the track owner thought that's genius. So, naturally what we did was we mixed the 2, and now we have a giant field of trucks and spec late models, so trucks and cars racing together.
Oh wow!
So that's 40 laps.
Yeah.
And it's always a really good race because the trucks beat them in the corners, and the S2 the speculates get them in the straightaways, and it's always really tight, cool racing. And
oh wow!
Yeah, so
yeah, that'd be cool to see.
And then the end of the night we have the next late model race. And I kind of like that how we have 2 races because you have redemption in the second race, and you can make adjustments to your car in between the 2 races, which always has saved me. But
yeah. Well, that's pretty cool. Are any of your races like televised for people to like see, or or are they televised, or are they replayed anywhere, or anything like that?
So yeah, we don't have, it's not like televised on live,
Mm-hmm.
but we do have guys at Low Budget TV. You can find clips on YouTube of Irwindale Speedway on the Low Budget TV YouTube. But
Okay.
the majority, like, you can find entire races on IrwindaleSpeedway.tv.
Okay.
And so they upload all, like, most races you'll see, if not all, from a couple months ago to now. You can find any
Mm-hmm.
race.
Oh, that's
So
cool. So it's like on demand.
yeah,
Cool. I'll
but
definitely put
you
that
still have
in.
to kind of pay, but it's not that
Right.
much. It's pretty cool though.
Yeah, I think it's definitely something to check out.
Yeah.
I'll definitely put the link in the bio too for anyone who's interested. So when you're not racing, what do you like to do?
I race. When I'm not racing, I'm usually racing either on my simulator or a simulator, or on my I go to K1 Speed, which is
Okay.
like go-karting, indoor go-karting,
Yep.
or I
Cool.
watch racing, or I'm at the racetrack working, or
So
so
it's always
I'm
race
always around
related.
cars. It's nonstop, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So I saw about a month ago you got your first late model win at Irwindale. So congrats on that. But with that being said, what do you see as your greatest accomplishment so far as a driver?
Yeah, my greatest accomplishment was probably going back to the quarter midgets. My biggest accomplishment was probably when I won the Western Grands. So it was like, it's kind of like championship for like quarter midgets. Anyone can come, and you qualify, you do practices, and you do heat races. And so I went to the A main, which is, the highest, and in my class, junior Honda.
Mm-hmm.
And so before that, I broke my arm testing there,
Oh.
and a couple weeks, we went to the doctor, and we went to the doctor. They got me checked out. They put a cast on it. My dad's like, we gotta get him fixed for before the race, and he's like, So we went to the psychiatrist. I think it's a psychiatrist or whatever it is,
Uh,
for my arm, and a professional doctor. And
mm-hmm.
he works with the motocross guys, and he's like, "You need him in 2 weeks?" He's like, "We're like, yeah, he needs to at least have a half cast." I was like, "Yeah, I could do that." I was like, "Oh, okay." So we go back, get a half cast, and I
Mm-hmm.
race, and I won.
Wow.
So that was pretty cool. Or my first late model win. I mean, that I feel like I've worked really, really hard for that win. I mean, it's not an easy field. You have Blake
Right.
Perkins, who raced an ARCA, a crazy good talent. You have Ryan Vargas, who I'm sure you heard of,
Yep.
K&N driver. You have Trevor Huddleston, K&N driver. You have Jace Jones, the grandson of Parnelli Jones, and I can tell you, they have racing in their blood. It's
Yeah.
it's unbelievable. It's just a really tough field to compete with.
Mm-hmm.
So getting that first one and knowing I beat all of those guys really
Yeah.
boosted me.
Heck yeah, dude. That's a stacked field.
Yeah.
Cool. So obviously we're not called the Laugh Lap for nothing. Do you have any embarrassing moments that you can look back on and laugh?
Well, yeah, I do have one. So when I was in quarter midgets, I just started off, and so you lean out of your car like super far to get the car turned, because they're so light, and they're not going to turn if you just like, sit inside the car. So if you look at quarter midgets, you'll see kids leaning out of the car, and so we not really looking at the flags, but you can kind of see you kind of see it out of turn 4, and you peek at it, and you go in the next corner because it's such a short track, and you're it's the fastest quarter midget track in America. So you're not really paying attention to the flag unless you know what lap it is.
Right.
And so I was at the time. Well, not really, but I saw that I think I was counting the laps in my head, or some. I don't even know what happened, but white flag flew, and I pulled off the track, thinking I
Oh.
won, and I was at least half track in front of everyone else in
Uh-huh.
first. So I see the white, and I'm like, oh, okay, I guess it's done. And so I just pull off.
Oh man. It's like reminiscent of Mark Martin doing that. I forget what race that was, but
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Wow, that's crazy. Were you kicking yourself for a while?
Oh yeah. After that, my dad flipped out. I had no idea what was going on. And then I saw my other friend win. And I was like, oh wait.
That's crazy. So obviously our page is known for memes. So do you have a favorite meme or anything that you've seen recently that you'd like to share?
Recently, I have loved the Area 51 memes.
Oh
Those have
yeah.
been so freaking funny. I
uh,
just like everyone wanted to break in. And it's like 400,000 people have signed up, something like that. And I
yeah.
guarantee you, it's gonna be like 13 people show up, and it, the U.S. military is gonna be there, and it's gonna be. But like, I have like a weird sense of humor, and I follow some weird like meme pages. Like,
Right.
so my favorite meme account is the Sped Shed, and it's just I save on Instagram, and the majority of my stuff is saved from there. So
I'll have to check them out.
yeah, for
Maybe,
sure.
maybe get some inspiration from them and do some collabs maybe or something.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have any shout outs, maybe some sponsors or something that you'd like to bring up?
Yeah. Um, I'd like to, for some sponsors, I'd like to thank Thompson Pipe Group, which is my dad, and High Point Racing, Race Car Factory, Well Pit Stop, Alabasi, Sukit, Marietta Development, Slater, and FIDAC. All sponsors for me. They're all like contracting and pipeline stuff, and because my dad is concrete pipe manufacturer, and he basically does sewers, like makes
Okay.
pipe for sewers, and so all those companies have helped us out one way or another, and so we put them on the hood. So yeah.
Awesome. Cool. And then tell the people where you're racing at next and where we can find you.
So I race at Irwindale Speedway like majority of the time. So my next race, get the calendar pulled up. My next race, I'm pretty sure is at Irwindale. Yep, Irwindale, August 10th. And then I race in Kern County up in Bakersfield. And the championship night is on September 7th. And I also race in Madera, which is, I race there sometimes, only for like, only for the major races. So I raced at Madera like October 5th for the $10,000 race. And then I race in Vegas once a year. That'll be on October 19th. And then I race in Havasu like one time a year, which is like January 5th. So yeah, I'm kind of all over the place in Southern California, but not
Mm-hmm.
really because I'm only running the full season in Kern and Irwindale.
Okay.
So
All
yeah,
right.
you can find the schedule at irwindalespeedway.com. And if you want to find the Kern County schedule, you can do it at kernraceway.com.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Perfect. I'll put those in the bio too, and probably put some pictures up on the screen somewhere. I don't know where I'll be, but it'll be fun to edit that one. All right. Well, Dean Thompson, thank you so much for taking the time and doing this interview, and I can't wait to check out some of your races.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
No problem. All right, guys. That's it from the Laugh Traffic. I'm TJ for Dean. See you guys next episode.
Yeah.